Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that everything you thought you knew about money was only half the truth. You worked, you saved, you spent, you planned. Yet something felt incomplete, as if the real game was happening behind a curtain you never learned to pull back. The world teaches you how to earn money, how to spend it, even how to multiply it, but almost no one teaches you how to think about it. And that, more than anything else, shapes your financial destiny, because the way you feel about money, fear it, chase it, or trust it, decides far more than any spreadsheet ever will. That is the haunting idea at the heart of the psychology of money. It is a book that invites you to sit in the quiet corners of your own mind and ask the questions most people avoid. Why do some people with modest incomes build real wealth, while others with enormous salaries somehow end up drowning in debt? Why do intelligent people make catastrophic financial decisions? Why do we want more, even when we already have enough? And what does enough truly mean? You begin to understand that money is not a math problem. It is a behavioral problem. It is a story written through emotions, habits, insecurities, dreams, and childhood experiences we never truly outgrow. The book does not talk down to you. It walks beside you. It shows you the lives of people who made astonishing fortunes and people who lost everything in the span of a breath. Not to entertain you, but to reveal that every financial decision is influenced by people who have lived different lives than yours. The markets move because millions of minds move. You do not just trade stocks. You trade stories, fears, expectations, and hopes. The journey begins with a man named Ronald Reed, a janitor who silently accumulated more than $8 million. His secret was not brilliance. It was patience, consistency, and the courage to stay put when the world demanded panic. And then there was Richard Fusconi, a former Merrill Lynch executive who earned millions and lived in luxury, yet went bankrupt when the tide turned. How can two lives that began in the same world end in such opposite ways? The answer is not luck. The answer is behavior. Reed mastered the quiet game of compounding. Fusconi tried to outrun time. You watch as the book peels back the curtain on luck and risk, the twin forces that shape our lives far more than we care to admit. Two children born in different zip codes can face entirely different realities, yet we applaud or judge their outcomes as if they started on the same starting line. When you look closely at the world, you see that success is never fully earned, and failure is never fully deserved. Life is a delicate balance of effort and randomness. A single decision, a single moment, can ripple across decades. And yet, people cling to predictions. Markets, economists, analysts. Everyone wants forecasts, even though the future has always been unpredictable. The book does not mock predictions. It simply reminds you of something humbling. The most important events, the ones that shape history, are by nature surprises. No one predicted the internet. No one predicted global pandemics. No one predicted the biggest stock market crashes. You cannot build a responsible financial life on predictions. You build it on margins of safety, resilience, and humility. Money, when looked at through this lens, becomes a mirror. It reflects your values, your insecurities, your definition of enough. A few things are more dangerous than not knowing what enough means. The desire for more has broken empires, families, careers, and minds. You have seen people who had fortunes but risked everything for a little more. It's not because they needed it, because they never paused to define the boundary between ambition and self-destruction. The book asks you a simple but profound question. What is your enough? And do you have the courage to stop moving the goalpost? Then comes one of the most powerful ideas. No one is crazy. Everyone makes financial choices based on their own life experiences. A child who grew up watching their parents lose their savings will approach money with fear. A person who only witnessed bull markets may believe that risk barely exists. People are shaped by the invisible memories of childhood, by recessions they lived through, by layoffs they witnessed, by successes they tasted, by failures they never forgot. When you judge someone's financial decisions, you are often judging a story you never lived. As the narration flows deeper, you encounter the force of compounding. Not as a math formula, but as a life philosophy. Compounding is time amplified. It is small actions repeated for long periods. It is the idea that slow and steady is not just a cliche. It is the closest thing we have to financial magic. Warren Buffett made more than 90% of his wealth after age 65. Not because he discovered a secret technique late in life, because he had been investing consistently since he was a child. Time did the heavy lifting. The book gently warns you that most financial disasters start with overconfidence. When people believe they are smarter than history, when they take risks they cannot see, when they chase rewards without considering the cost, risk hides in the places where confidence grows too loudly. This is why the author urges you to assume that things will go wrong, not out of pessimism, but out of respect for reality. Build buffers, create room for error. Prepare for storms even when the sky looks clear. You then step into the sensitive realm of wealth versus getting wealthy. Getting wealthy requires taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there. Staying wealthy requires fear, humility, and the discipline to hold back. These two skill sets rarely exist in the same person. Many people mastered the art of getting rich, but failed the art of staying rich. They lost fortunes because they forgot that survival is the real secret. The book's message is clear. Wealth is what you do not see, is the money not spent. It is the quiet decisions, not the loud ones. The narration becomes more intimate as savings take center stage. Saving is not about frugality or deprivation. It is about freedom, options, flexibility, the ability to wake up one day and no longer need to tolerate what drains you. People save to feel safe, to feel in control, to feel like their future is not at the mercy of chance. Saving gives you a gap between your income and your ego. And that gap is where peace grows. You are reminded that people want wealth, not to buy things, but to feel respected, admired, or valued. Yet in chasing that admiration, they often spend money on things that actually reduce how others see them. Money used to impress usually backfires. Real respect comes from character, not consumption. The book then explores the traps of pessimism. Pessimism sounds smart. Optimism looks naive. But long-term progress has always come from people who believe that tomorrow can be better. Not blindly, but realistically. The world improves slowly with occasional disasters. But improvement wins over time. This is why long-term optimism paired with short-term caution creates a balanced mindset, one that helps you survive storms without losing faith in what is possible. As the story moves toward its emotional peak, you begin to see money not as a tool for luxury, but as a tool for control over your time. This idea is the climax. Freedom is the highest dividend money pays. The ability to wake up and choose what to do with your day. The ability to work because you want to, not because you have to. The ability to say no to what exhausts you. Time is the true currency. Money is only valuable when it buys you time. The narrative reaches its most human moment when it admits that financial success is deeply personal. You do not need to chase someone else's dreams. You do not need to follow someone else's strategy. You need a plan that fits your nature, your temperament, your pain tolerance, your ambition, your fears, your life stage. Personal finance is personal. A strategy that makes someone else rich can make you miserable. The goal is not to win a comparison. The goal is to build a life that feels stable, meaningful, and free. The book closes by reminding you that progress comes from embracing reality. The world will surprise you. Markets will rise and fall. Your plans will break and rebuild. But if you learn to think about money with humility, patience, clarity, and emotional intelligence, you give yourself an edge far stronger than intelligence alone. You no longer react. You respond. You no longer chase noise. You follow your values. You no longer fear uncertainty. You prepare for it. And as this story settles into your mind, one final truth stands tall. Wealth is not a number. Wealth is a mindset. It is the ability to stay calm when others panic. It is the patience to let compounding work in your favor. It is the discipline to know you're enough. It is the humility to accept what you cannot control. It is the confidence to build quietly, slowly, steadily. If this journey moved you, carry its lessons into your own life. Look at your relationship with money with honest eyes. Notice the beliefs you inherited. Question the habits you repeat. Define what enough means for you. Build buffers. Save more than you think you need. Avoid the temptation to prove anything to anyone. Measure your wealth not by how much you own, but by how much freedom you feel. And if you want more content that helps you think more clearly, act more wisely, and build a life guided by intention instead of impulse, stay with this channel. Your future self will thank you for it.